Hello and welcome back to the Crookedrivercast. This is Robert and that guy over there is Tom. And we are two guys just trying to keep track of what is going on in the great state of Ohio. This is show 48 for the week of February 16, 2026. And yep, you guessed it. We got some stuff to discuss. Let's do it. In the morning, my brother from another mother.
In the morning.
Happy Valentine's Day.
How you doing, sweetie?
Oh, not as good as you are, sweet cheeks. Valentine's Day today. You got anything special planned?
Yeah, we're gonna go to a... We didn't plan it. It's just kind of... We didn't have a reservation or anything. So we're gonna go to like a local winery here for like a late lunch, early, maybe supper or so.
Okay.
Just, yeah, nothing special. What about you?
Our Valentine's Day was kind of culminated this morning when I said, Happy Valentine's Day, honey. She said, Happy Valentine's Day. That was about it.
Yeah.
We don't do a lot for Valentine's. We never have.
We did early on. I wouldn't say we did a lot, but it was always a nice dinner and a romantic. I don't know if it's even a romantic evening, an exciting evening. Put it that way.
How romantic can it be when you have when you need a day of peer pressure to tell your significant other what that you care about them.
I don't. Valentine's Day doesn't bother me. It's like all the sweetest day, and it's like, all right, come on.
Yeah, but wasn't Valentine's Day the same reason that they started it for the similar reasons? Is like kind of commercial.
No,
Sweetest Day was.
Sweetest Day was definitely just
Hallmark, I think.
Yeah, it was kind of like, hey, there's nothing going on this time of year. We need something.
Right.
And I don't think Valentine's Day, I think has, you know what? I never looked it up. How long has...
but it's probably been around for a long time. I like the women in my office. They're like, oh, what are you doing for your wife for Valentine's Day? Nothing. Why? I said, because you know what? I tell my wife all the time that I care about her. I don't need public pressure to do it in a holiday. They all look at me like, oh, well, some of them do at least. They go, oh yeah, I guess I could see that. I go, and that's why I tell them, if your man only gives you flowers on Valentine's Day, you should think about that.
Yeah, we can all do better in that respect, I think. But Valentine's Day has been observed for over 1,500 years.
Oh, it is the card companies, and they're old. I mean, Hallmark has been around a long time.
It's a actual saint, Yeah,
Saint Valentine. Yeah. But other than that, I don't think we usually do something with the girls. They are our Valentines. And I don't think we have much. And usually we don't do anything on Valentine's Day because that's just, without a reservation. No.
We used to do it, but you do have to make a reservation pretty early on. Especially, my goodness, on a Saturday evening? Jeez, forget about it.
Yeah, especially when it's on a weekend, Friday. So, yeah. It's like, no. But even if it's on like a Thursday, that Saturday is, don't even go to a restaurant because they're slammed.
Yep.
So, no, I don't know. I don't think we're going to. I literally that's what we did this morning. And I'll say something to my kids and that'll be about it. And maybe we'll get an extra treat or something from the grocery store when they go. Get an extra bowl of ice cream or something.
So romantic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, for the kids. The ice cream is for the kids, not for me.
What about your oldest daughter? She got somebody that is her Valentine?
Absolutely not.
That you know of.
Then, I bet she has somebody in mind. Okay. Over the summer, I know for a fact, because over the summer, homecoming it was. She went with a couple of friends, which is very common.
Yeah, nowadays, right?
No gay, just friends that I know of.
I wasn't even going there, but
I know.
I think it's more of a hang now than
it's a hang now. Yeah, it's still somewhat like that, but when 30 years ago or 20 or whatever it is, I think it was more of a stigma. If you went by yourself or with friends, it was kind of like, ooh, you can't get a date. Now it's just like, I
remember a few people doing it, but it was, you couldn't get a date.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You were like, you stood out, but now it's very common. And we were at, I was giving him a ride to homecoming and my daughter asked me to take pictures. And I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. Cause she never asks. She's always running away from the camera as most women do. And I said, okay, we picked up our friend. We went to one of the lakes over here, Coal Lake over in Berea.
Oh yeah, good place.
And it was freaking it was a mess mob
yeah.
scene. There was one parking spot. It was just crazy.
Oh,
anyway,
man.
We took pictures, got some nice shots, talked to her parents for a little bit, her friends' parents. We had met a couple of her friends there, this and that. So we're driving back to grab something to eat before we drop them off at homecoming. And her friend, my daughter's friend, gives up the farm and throws her right under the bus and starts talking about the two boys that she likes.
Nice.
She's ribbing her, just stop it. And I'm like, I like you. You can come along anytime. She was messing with her. That was the thing. She was messing with her friend. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, she's at that age. I prod her occasionally, but no.
She's probably been at that age for the last couple of years, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But she denies it. She doesn't. Boys are still annoying and smelly, which is why I always tell her. Boys are annoying and smelly.
Well, you prove
don't
it. You don't tell her.
Right. I live by example. I show her by example. I'm smelly and rude all the time. But no, nothing yet. She's concentrating on driving, and that's what we're going with.
Oh, good. Have you started that?
It's up to her.
Oh, she hasn't started yet.
She hasn't even asked. I told her the other day we were on driving home. I was like, I think it's kind of weird that you're not asking to drive. And her response was, okay. I said, hey, I'm not going to force you.
She got her temp right away.
Yeah, in the middle of a blizzard. So I could.
Well, that's fine.
But now I was like, you can drive anywhere now. I can actually see my driveway. It's crazy.
Yeah. In a few more days, everything's going to be melted. So it'll be a good time to take her out. Maybe you have to push it a little bit.
I that's me pushing it, and she'll get there. But I think so. Everybody enjoy your Valentine's Day scam and go out and buy cards and
scam. Tell your wife you love her. I mean, if you do, if you don't, then don't bother.
I do every day. So what's the difference? Yeah, I like that. A little bit harsh, but hey, Moving on to some actual news stories. I think the first one we'll touch on is this GOP. It's kind of a national thing. GOP blocks or the House of Representatives put in a bill to block the Canadian tariffs that Trump put up. And 6 Republicans crossed the aisle to pass the legislation to block the tariffs. And does this matter much? Will it affect the tariffs on Canada? Because Trump's going to veto it. Right?
I would think so, yeah.
And there's not a majority to overturn his veto.
Right.
So it doesn't mean a whole lot, but the reason I kind of kept it in the lineup is because it will make the midterms a bit more interesting. Because there are now is Trump going to primary these Republicans? Some of them deserve to be primaried, mind you.
I don't know enough. Listen, are they? I'm coming to the realization that there's no such thing as Democrats and Republicans anymore. It's anti-America or America.
You're crazy.
Plus. Yeah, okay. Thomas Massey, you're going to have a hard time primarying him. I think he's well loved in Kentucky. Yep. Kevin Riley, is he really a Republican? You're not going to.
So not really. No,
you're not going to get that's from California. Don Bacon, I'm not familiar with him. He's from Nebraska. That's a pretty red state, so you maybe can primary him. And Jeff Hurd from Colorado, I don't know.
Again, is he really a Republican?
Yeah, Colorado's kind of funny, right?
And Brian Fitzpatrick from PA. That name rings a bell somehow.
Well, he might be in one of those purple districts where it's kind of like they can go either way. So I don't know enough about some of these guys. Oh, Washington Republican. I mean, unless he's like right on the edge of Idaho or something.
Dan Newhouse is the Washington Republican. The final one is Republican Gregory Meeks from.
He's a Democrat.
Democrat from New York. So
yeah, so he's not going to go anywhere. I don't know.
That's who sponsored it. Sorry, Gregory Meeks is who sponsored it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just a nothing.
It's probably a nothing burger, but it does put him on the record for opposing Trump.
Right.
Massey's been kind of on a warpath on these tariffs, calling them, it's the taxing authority is in Congress, not at the president's.
This would still have to go through Senate, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not going to go anywhere. So it won't make it past that.
Yes.
Assuming
it does, it doesn't matter
and stuff
anyway.
like that, and a couple of other, Graham and McConnell. I don't know how you don't hear from McConnell anymore. So I don't know how he feels about tariffs. And Graham, he's a funny dude, man. A dude I'm using very lightly. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it says here, Meek's resolution now heads to the Senate, where it appears likely to pass. In October,
Really?
four Republicans joined all Democrats to vote to terminate Trump's tariffs on Canada, a measure led by Senator Tim Kaine, Democrat out of Virginia. Those GOP lawmakers were Senator Mitch McConnell, Kentucky, like Massey, Rand Paul, no duh, Susan Collins, again, and Lisa Murkowski out of Alaska.
Yeah.
So none of those are surprises. So it could pass. It probably will pass, actually.
I don't think it will, but
okay.
I think they'll come.
They need all these
before.
people to vote it to get it passed, but it doesn't really matter anyway because he's going to veto it, and they don't have more than 60 votes. So it's basically all to do about grandstanding, to most of the extent, and
all these guys always do, right?
I see Massey's point on the whole taxing thing. Tariffs.
Okay.
Is it a gray area? You think or no?
Yeah. I think
who's responsible for that? It's kind of a gray area.
It is because if you're okay, so they always say, let me try. I haven't really thought this totally through, but we always say free trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're never in a situation where it's free trade. We're always getting shafted by these countries, so he's just kind of hitting them back.
Yeah,
and I don't think Congress is strong enough to do that.
Yeah, I don't believe Massey's against them. I think he wants. Well, he may be in some areas.
Oh no, he is. For this, I think he is. Yeah.
See, my understanding was his argument was always it's our responsibility to do it, not necessarily that he wouldn't do with them, just that it's not the president's authority. I don't know. This is just months and months of
but he knows that wouldn't pass.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. And look at what he's getting done with these tariffs.
Yeah,
there's no way Congress would be able to do what he's doing now because of the ability to push these countries and to negotiate on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose if there's like one person in our country that I want control of tariffs, it would be Trump. I'm sure there's others that would be pretty good at it, but he's the guy I want doing that. He's the one who's got the twitchy eye. He's got the he's got the gonads to
he's got the FU money.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the other thing, that he doesn't need to be bought.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. So I think like much to do about now, it's going to get vetoed if it even gets past the Senate, and it'll just be something to talk about. They can argue about it throughout the midterms. So yay to that. Moving on to the next story is more about the GOP. And this one comes from our friends at News Channel 5. GOP leaders say no to Trump election plan. Or did they really? Did they really? Once again, Trump, to me, Trump is negotiating and nobody can see it. And it's probably a good thing. Here's a status quo. Trump says something crazy. Nationalize elections. Everybody grabs their pearls and goes, oh no, they go freak out, grab your pearls. And then this is a tactic I've seen the left do since I can remember. Then when everybody grabs their pearls, they go, oh, okay, well, how about this much more reasonable, what we actually want? And everybody goes, oh, this is much better. Okay, we'll vote for that. I feel it's exactly what he's doing here. And let's take a little listen. Have you, you feel the same way? Because I feel like this is Trump's MO. This is classic. He's going to come out hyperbolic, and or do you actually think he wants to nationalize the elections? He might actually think that.
I don't have an issue with nationalizing federally elected officials.
Okay. What does nationalizing mean, though? That was my question.
A standard that each state has to follow.
Okay. Kind of have that now. They have the abilities. Let's.
No, I see. Here's the thing: each state has their own, like, how many days after the election, how many mail-in ballots, what machines are we using? It's a bastardized version of voting. I mean, it's all over the place.
I'm not sure maybe they don't do it enough of it, but I think they have the ability to do it.
What's that?
To guide the states through, especially federal elections, especially.
Right, but what do you do with the locally? See, it's kind of weird because, like, we got the midterms, so part of that is actually federal, right? Because we'll be and then there's going to be a whole lot of local officials running too for local offices. It is tough.
I think a good example, I'm trying to remember, it might have been New York, who passed a law that illegals can vote.
Right.
But only for local elections.
Okay.
I bet that's a split, right?
I'm kind of talking about, like, more of the who counts the votes, what counts the votes.
Okay, yeah.
When the votes can be placed, how do we collect the votes? I guess.
I got you. Yeah.
That's the weirdness where you got California who you don't have to show an ID. That's messed up, but I guess that's their right as a state as of now.
Right. So let's see what Channel 5 has to say. Let's start this clip here. Basically, what Trump said and how the Ohio GOP kind of responded to it, and oh no, all the restrictions. What are we going to do?
The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting.
The federal government should get involved.
President Donald Trump says that elections should be nationalized. He complains that blue states and cities can't run elections honestly.
The state is an agent for the federal government in elections. I don't know why the federal government doesn't do them anyway.
While on CNN Wednesday, U.S. Senator John Husted said that Ohio's elections are run well, but pushed for more oversight of other states.
They don't have photo ID in California. They don't properly maintain their voter rolls in California.
But stepping out of D.C., state house leaders are pushing back.
Do you think that Ohio should give up power for the president?
Well, the state of Ohio should be in charge of the state of Ohio's elections. I don't think that the states in any way should give up their elections. For one thing, is federal government going to come in and run a township trustee election?
Elections law expert Atiba Ellis says that the president doesn't have the authority to federalize elections.
If Congress chooses to make changes regarding federal elections and federal elections only, Congress can do so. The president cannot declare that the Republican Party or whomever can take over elections.
What he can do, Ellis says, is push the states to mirror federal law.
Congress can set law in regards to federal elections, which states would have to follow. So when you bring these together, there is a bit of unification.
House Minority Leader Donnie Isaacson warns that this has happened before. Several months ago, the state got rid of a grace period for mail-in ballots to arrive, since the Supreme Court is also addressing that issue.
The current leadership in Ohio has been acting on Donald Trump's orders to restrict the right to vote for people.
Does it make you feel a little bit assured that Huffman said that no, Ohio should not be giving up any power to the feds?
Unfortunately, it does not give me a lot of confidence to hear from the people who've passed bill after bill after bill, limiting access to the ballot for the people in Ohio.
I don't think it should happen. I don't think it will happen.
Oh, all the restrictions. Oh my gosh. It's always.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Everything they said was true. As I said, it's like you have election day and you have federal and you have state stuff happening. So I don't know.
I think the way I've always learned it or understood it in the United States is one of the unique things about the United States is we actually have 50 elections. It's not one election.
Right.
And I think that's a big part of this, the quote unquote success of the Republic, I guess. I don't put that in quotes because I'm not sure how successful we've been. I mean, we're pretty successful, but it's for how long, all that stuff. But
go to England, find out.
Yeah. And that makes it a lot harder to steal an election. Now, I think they've figured out how to, because when it comes down to most elections, it's 5 or 6 states that you have to really push one way or the other.
I mean, there's the whole ballot harvesting thing too.
Yep.
You know, it's a hurdle.
So they passed the SAVE Act, right? That's just part of this
in the House, right?
In the House, right? And it's going to go to the Senate, and we're going to see what happens. And that's what's bringing all this up to the surface,
right?
Everybody's kind of freaking out. It's always interesting to hear this argument that your voters won't be able to figure out if how to vote if there's any kind of changes or any kinds of additional checks or balances.
My favorite argument is that women will have a harder time to vote, and it's like, whoa! So you're saying they're all too stupid to figure it out?
It's almost like it planned it. Yes, Tom. I think I was mistaken. I was always kind of told, all men are created equal, including women. But I think I might have been mistaken. And I think I've been informed over and over again, especially when it comes to voting rights and voting laws and registrations, that I think I'm wrong. Because apparently what I'm being told is that black people are too stupid to vote. They're too stupid to know how to get an ID, especially black women. That's a double whammy, I'm told. Because if you're a woman and you're black, there's no way in hell you're going to be able to figure out how you're going to vote. Now, some may say, if women aren't voting anymore. But let's hear what Scott Jennings had to say on CNN. I've been looking for a reason to bring a Scott Jennings clip in, because this is kind of how I think you can handle this. And he defeats him with one simple word, one simple question. Let's listen to what Scott says on CNN.
What voting rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at the SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about. That is actually going to continue to disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people of color. There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0. So this is the same president. If we want to continue...
You haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have... That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom,
we
right?
Can.
If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID, the reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
Pause this for a second. Hold on. A right for the American people. Sorry.
Just the hurdles she's trying to maneuver. Gosh.
This is a right for the American people, she says. And you're making it harder to. So if it's a right for the American people that you don't want to be taken away, you're saying, then how do we tell who's the American people? How do we tell? Do we just go, you look American? Continue.
That you're making all these claims. You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone. But 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote. 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters are too dumb to know what's good for them? I mean, it sounds pretty condescending to me. You get 3/4 of black voters.
That's not
true.
Just to be clear, the SAVE Act is not just about ideas. The SAVE Act is about proof of citizenship. So what? It doesn't.
It also makes it very hard for married women who.
I was just going to say, we talked about young people. It's not. It actually, there's an
married women are stupid.
Red state voters, women, poor white voters could be just as.
I know you think they're dumb too, don't you? I mean, that's the thing. I hear these arguments. I've heard Democrats all week long.
All week long. No. My whole life.
There's a deflection from talking about Donald Trump's racism. I'm actually
Donald Trump's racism.
You should be thinking about your constituents or your.
Yeah, I think they're smart enough to figure out how to register to vote.
Hold on. Most Americans don't have a passport. Many Americans don't have access to their birth
certificate. Many women, a majority of women who change their names for marriage have to provide additional proof that they've changed their legal names in order to register to vote.
I have heard Democrats
Scott,
make these same arguments.
Why don't you actually respond to the substance of what I'm saying?
I am. And
as
the substance
opposed
is
to
this.
making this about something that it's not.
You're saying
it's not just
about
about
married women,
like a woman,
filibustering,
and rural people are too
just keep
stupid to figure out how to register to vote.
That is not what
Democrats have been making this argument all along. It's crazy.
That is not what she said.
Are you saying they can't figure out how to...
Let the guy come in and offer proof. Nope, he still couldn't get past all the hens on that panel. Holy cow! Do you know, Tom? Some people don't have passports.
Oh, I'm one of them.
Some people, some women, some people don't have access to their birth certificate. Now, I immediately go, why? Is it maybe because you're from another country? Maybe. Sorry.
Yeah, don't you just have to call City Hall?
That's my question. Yeah. Why don't you have access to your birth certificate? I'm sure there are reasons.
Some people, illegals.
That's exactly. I'm sure there's some cases where you can't get your birth certificate, but you have to eventually get it.
If you have your social security number, I'm sure there's a way to get a copy of it.
Yeah, because you kind of needed your birth certificate when you were born to prove that you were born and get a social security number. Or at some point you needed that.
I took my birth certificate when I got that stupid new driver's license.
Oh, with the
with the free travel or whatever travel thing.
With the star on it. Just to mark everybody so everybody knows who you are.
Yes, I'm marked.
I know I have it too, so it's okay. I tried to stay away from it, but laziness took over and I just ended up getting it. So I don't know. That's the safe. All these restrictions, people are too. So that's where I'm getting at. They informed me, Democrats have informed me over and over again through my whole life that black people are not capable of figuring out how to get IDs.
Well, it's hilarious because now they added women to that too.
I mean, it's kind of a natural fit.
Yeah. Tracks.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the insane ideology we're dealing with here. I don't get how this doesn't. This is not an edge issue. Listen to those numbers, like 80%.
I was just going to say that it's hilarious that they keep arguing it when over 3/4 of the country sides with it.
Yep.
Even blacks, and it's like
by not even a close margin.
Not even close. And the thing is, okay, so 75% black population, and what was it, like 93% of whites, and I think it was 80-some%. So
80% of Hispanics, 83% of the total American population.
83%. Oh, okay, of the total. So it's an 80-20 issue, and they're going to argue, It's blows my mind. And there's people out there that still vote for this stuff that too stupid to pick up on these things, man.
So the Ohio GOP is really just saying, they're like, yeah, come on. It's not going to happen. We know it's not going to happen, but we do need more laws. We do need more oversight because of other states, because of California. It's okay. It's not only that you don't need to show an ID in California. You're not by law allowed to flash your ID at a polling station.
Yeah. You get arrested.
You get arrested for it, or a fine. I'm sure. Yeah. You can get taken off and whatever. I'm sure it's a slap on the wrist, but still it's okay. That's a problem. But here's another problem. Like they brought up in the clip, voter rolls.
It's a slap on a wrist to steal $1,000 worth of stuff from a store. I'm sure you get busted for showing your driver's license.
Actually, it's not even a slap on a wrist for $900 and below.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, for $1,000, you're like, get out of here.
That's close enough. Go ahead. So, but the voter rolls. Think about the voter rolls in California. We just look at what we see in Ohio with the GOP-run government for the last 10 years, and the things that they find there from now. They're not horrible, but there's still dozens and dozens of incorrect people on the voter rolls. Could you just imagine what's going on in Chicago, New York, California, or Illinois? Not just Chicago, but all of Illinois, and so on and so on. Colorado.
What state did somebody just get busted for their dog voting?
Well, I don't know. I didn't see that.
It might have been Virginia. Man, should I look it up? Anyways, somebody registered their dog and they got a ballot and voted twice, but they did end up catching them. But they did vote 2 or 3 times, I think.
Just 2 or 3 times. Well, I do need
California.
Well,
she's facing 6 years in prison for allegedly registering her dog to vote and casting mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
She's the one who got caught. How many more are there?
And they're going to quietly give her an award after she's done with the case.
Right. She's facing 6 years. Oh, they'll give her
90 days probation or some dumb shit.
Yeah.
California makes sense. So, yep. Tell us what you think about that. What's your opinion on the voting? What's on Trump's comments and that? Let us know. What are you gonna say?
By the way, she only got caught because she posted it on social media. So, and again, it's a woman.
But California was forced to do something about it. Is basically what you're saying.
They probably got a lot of mail about that from all over the country. Probably, I'd imagine.
Tell us who your dog voted for in the last election at crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Check out the website, crookedrivercast.com. Every Monday morning, along with the show dropping, is the blog post. There's all of our stories in it, a lot of the clips that we have, all the resources we're using. You can go through them and, find out what we're missing or where we're wrong, possibly. Or just, like most people do, just email us on how great we are. And if you're really, really interested in it, you can always try to find me on X. Me love cookie! Because who doesn't love cookies? CrookedRivercast.com. We thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Share the show, leave a comment, give us a review if you don't mind. It really would help spread the word in Ohio. All right. Next, it gets even better. So we've got a few stories here that I kind of lumped them all together on immigration. And it kind of started with this first one here.
I'm kind of curious why you chose this story. It's not a story.
Oh, it's an op-ed.
Yeah, it's an op-ed.
Yeah. And it is Laura Johnston, Cleveland.com. What a surprise.
Looks like a dude.
And it does?
She does.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
It does? Sorry, it does. And I kind of started reading this just as a kind of a hate read, as you might want to say. And
yeah.
And then when I started seeing these other kind of stories pop up that some of them I put away from a couple of weeks ago. For example, Northeast Ohio cities are putting these resolutions in against ICE, and there's legislation in the state in Columbus, three or four bills think they want to force local police and sheriff's office to cooperate. So I'm reading this. It starts off with Laura says, Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a naturalized citizen. For years, I lived in the United States as a resident alien with a green card. I was never asked for my documentation. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm sorry, this is missing something here. Where is it at? Here it is. That's as loud as I thought it was. For many years, I was never asked for my documentation unless I was crossing the border or applying for a job. I was never discriminated against because of my immigration status. I was certainly never stopped by fellow agents because I have white skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes. This is privilege. All right, I can press all the buttons at one time. All other Americans born in this country are living in fear of immigration and custom enforcement. In Springfield, where the Trump administration wants to deport Haitian refugees, birthright citizens are carrying proof of citizenship, afraid they will be confronted by federal agents, all because of their darker skin color.
Why are they afraid if they're citizens?
Well, because Donald Trump. Federal agents are allowed to use race.
Yeah, but she's saying this. I doubt they're afraid. Birthright citizens carrying proof of citizenship. But there's nothing to be afraid of.
But their skin color.
Okay.
So they're being afraid of asked for let's just go a couple more paragraphs here. Federal agents are allowed to use race, language, and location to decide who to stop, thanks to a September U.S. Supreme Court emergency order that this is called total circumstances. Okay. So if you can't use what they look like, how they're speaking, accents and language, and where they are, what do you have left? What do you, you're just going to, it'd be better if we just randomly pick people and ask them. How
does she explain the 160,000 Ukrainians that got shipped out?
Well, she's apparently on board with your nonsense that they're minorities. That's probably what it is.
Ukrainians?
Yeah, he's Slavics, right?
Well, okay, but you can't tell.
I know. How do you know? And it means agents can stop cars driven by people who look somehow foreign born or raid Mexican restaurants. Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of common sense.
Every time I go into a Mexican restaurant, that's the question that's going through my head, considering that they can't speak English too well.
Here, we're getting to the crux of it here. So we go, in the last year, American citizens have been dragged, tackled, beaten, tased, and shot by immigration agents, according to ProPublica. It's such a fair and balanced ProPublica, which documented 170 incidents between January and October of 2025. A pregnant woman had the door blown off her home blown off, the door of her home blown off while Department of Homeland Security Kristi Noem watched.
I'd like to watch that too.
Was she stroking her mustache or pretend mustache? She was like, blow the door!
I'd like to know who was in the home besides a pregnant woman. Besides a pregnant.
That's it. That's it. There's nobody else there. Just a pregnant woman.
She's probably she's hiding her rapist husband, and
they were going after the baby in her womb because he was illegal. They were saying they were trying to get her before he was born. That's it.
Well, don't they do that on that side, anyways?
What do you mean?
Try to get the thing before they're born.
Well, yes, they want.
If you're a liberal,
yeah, they want.
Isn't that kind of celebrated?
Yeah, it's they praise their abortions. Okay, let's see. The Native Americans have been detained by ICE agents who question the veracity of their tribal identification. Okay. Native Americans whose ancestors occupied this land well before European explorers, let alone the U.S. Declaration of Independence. All right, let's get to it.
She's going to hit all the talking points.
Oh, yeah. Here. She goes on to we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, and, this is that, secured by that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. We know the saying. Hopefully you know it. Yeah, this is for Americans, not illegals. Yeah, okay. And there's a paragraph here.
My favorite line was, I'm going to ignore the fact that the founding documents rejects women and focuses instead on the ideals of democracy.
Thank you. I totally wanted to point that. I was getting to that and I totally flubbed
I'm sorry. I thought
No, I flubbed it. I forgot about it. I was looking for something else because it's the key to what they're saying is she doesn't understand. So here's a quote from Immigration, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, is restoring integrity to our nation's immigration policies. And as an instituted dynamic change to ensure that only individuals who love America, align with our culture, and share our values are welcome into this country. She says, I don't even know what to do with that last sentence. Well, if they don't love America, if they're not aligned with our culture, and they don't share our values, why the hell would we want them here? Why would we want them here? We don't want those people here. Just like every other freaking country in the world doesn't want those people here. If you're not going to assimilate, then stay the hell out. Is basically the whole crux to my point is, what the hell are you even talking about? That's what that thing means. That's what that sentence means. If you're not going to assimilate into our culture, which means bring a little bit of yours in, but it's to enhance our culture. No, you just want to put yourself in a walled garden, like let's say, I don't know, a Somali area in Minnesota where everywhere you go is a Somali-owned business, right? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about assimilating to make our country better. Oh, thank you. That's why I brought this article in here, because then they tie this in. This is why we can't live with these people. We are so far apart on this issue, on many issues, especially when it comes to immigration, who should be here.
Well, she's a fine example of a so-called journalist that's an activist. I mean, this is like so blatantly
blinders
activist.
On. I mean, this is a great example of suicidal empathy.
What do you mean by that?
You are so empathetic, you're willing to destroy what you love most. This great country that helps all these people, but you're so empathetic that you're willing to bring everybody here and collapse the entire thing so that nobody gets help.
Do you think she's empathetic? Really? I don't believe that one bit.
What do you think?
I think she just virtue signals because she wants people to think she's empathetic, but I don't think she is. She's a NIMBYist. She would, if you put these people, and when I say these people, I mean, if you, let's say the street she lived on, and you put her in the middle of a bunch of Haitians or Somalians, she would be the first to move.
Very good point. That she may be.
She's a typical NIMBYist. She's going to tell others how to feel, and that she has empathy, but in reality, she doesn't.
Very good point. That's a very good possibility. I'll go with that. She is appealing to the typical, it's mostly women, but it's not all women, who are so empathetic they can't see the forest through the trees.
Well, I think there are a lot of people like that. I just think that many of these journalists, so-called journalists, are not really empathetic. I think they're just virtue signaling.
Sure.
I know people like that in life.
Yeah.
You know, if they got their nice suburban home, few $100,000, and if you filled that street up with a bunch of Haitians, they'd be putting that house up for sale.
Right. They're all empathetic until you go, how many are you taking?
Yeah.
You got an extra room in your house. How's that basement looking?
Didn't they do that in Martha's Vineyard?
Yeah, that's what I think DeSantis and Texas. What's his
Texas
name?
guy,
Adams.
yeah. Not Adams.
Not Adams, but yeah,
Governor. I forget.
Governor Abbott.
Yep.
They both did that. Send the Martha Vineyard. Oh my gosh, did they throw a fit?
They got him out of there pretty quick.
And the only way this gets through, and the only way these bills that that we're talking about here, before we get to that, we'll start with this next one. We'll go with, on the immigration issue, was the clip that you pulled up, and I named it, Why Dewine is the Worst. And he's almost worse than a Democratic governor in some ways because, it's because of this here. Let's just put this up and we'll go with, I was going to do Chuck first, but we'll do with Dewine. Let's do Why Dewine is the Worst.
He should get a lot of credit for what he's doing on the southern border. And I think, what we've seen in Minneapolis and other places has distracted, frankly, from him getting credit for doing that. So I think from
giving Trump credit
point of view, it's the right thing to do. And I think it's the right thing to do for many reasons. But I don't know. I mean, we were told a few hours before the court decision came down
about the Haitians.
We got a briefing from ICE, and they basically said we have no orders or no plans to come in to Springfield. Now, they did say that could change overnight. That could change very quickly. But they said we have no plans specifically to do any kind of surge into Springfield.
We've been talking about this ruling on Monday, and in that ruling, the judge found that it's likely the decision to revoke legal status for Haitians is motivated by, quote, anti-Black, anti-Haitian animus. Do you agree with the judge?
Look, I'm not going to get into what the judge says or the law. The judges are going to have to do what they do. I respect that. We're going to respect whatever we end up.
Do you see anti-Black, anti-Haitian animus?
One more try.
Look, I can't attribute motives to people, what their motives are. I just know that these are contributing people to our community. We need them. Our economy needs them. We want to continue to move forward.
Is DHS racist? She asked him. And he goes, I'm not really going to comment on that. Well, that's all I got to say. I got to use my toys. That's why Dewine is the worst. Because he gets close. And then, you can't confidently say, Mr. Dewine, that maybe they're not racist. That maybe Governor Noem or Kristi Noem isn't just sitting there twirling her mustache going, get all the brown people. Let's get all the brown people. You are the worst. You are the worst.
Douchebags. Nice.
Because, and you might be right on this whole virtue signaling thing, and I think maybe a lot of politicians have come like Dewine, like, let's say Chuck Schumer, because, man, they had a different story, didn't they, years ago?
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking maybe if we leave these people in office, censor myself there, if we leave these people in office long enough,
they'll come full circle.
They'll come right back around, because here's Chuck Schumer 30 years ago, 1996, in the on the House of the floor of the Senate. Yeah, he's a Senate, yeah. And talking about a bill that they put an amendment on to restrict immigration and just kind of stop fraud through Social Security numbers. Kind of what we talked about last week with the Jamaican woman they're bribing judges in Ohio to get Social Security numbers so they can use them, get work permits and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And Chuck is on the floor of the Senate, saying this. Here you go.
Over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud. And here, the gentleman from Florida has put together the most effective anti-fraud measure we can find without it changing the actions of the government one bit. And we find all this opposition. Ladies and gentlemen of this chamber, what I worry about is that this bill, which started out with good intentions, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, is going to end up being the same kind of thing that the public gets angry with us on. We say we're doing something, and we do nothing. Because every time someone makes a rational and small proposal to get something done, people say, well, what about this hypothetical, that hypothetical, etc. I urge support of this amendment. If you believe you want to stop fraud in immigration, you have no choice but to support this amendment.
It's funny because that goes back to 1996.
Yep.
And you could go to 2008 when Hillary was running, and you can go to Obama, probably 2012 or so, basically saying the same stuff.
Yeah. Obama especially. Yeah, that's not even that far back. You're talking 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you don't even have to go back that far. I say this because I think most people that pay attention have heard the Hillary stuff and have heard the Obama stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought this was interesting because you don't hear some of the stuff that these guys that have been there forever have
and
said.
He's actively right now saying the exact opposite. Like, this is racist, and
yep.
Just like they were saying on the CNN with Scott Jennings. It's like
I guess if this was more of a full-time job for us, we could have put a nice thing together of all of them saying something back then and then now.
Then we got Sherrod Brown. You pulled up his tweet X post about as I travel the state, I hear the same thing that Governor Dewine has heard from Ohioans. They're concerned about their Haitian neighbors and about the economic impact. The expiration of the TPS reports. No, the TPS for Haitian Americans. Look, I get it.
I guarantee you, this is a made-up statement. I mean, nobody's telling him that.
Calling on Governor Dewine and Senators John Husted and Bernie Moreno to put Ohio communities first. Part of the problem with the TPS is there's no exit strategy. Are they going to be temporary protected status for the rest of their lives? And then all their kids are now birthright citizens.
That was the goal.
Right. No, that's not how it happened. That's not how your parents, that's not how my grandparents, great-grandparents came here. It is a bad deal. It is horrible for the people coming here and the people they're going, the communities they're going to. It's not. Yeah, now some of these companies have more people to exploit, so I guess they're happy, according to Mike Dewine.
It's really horrible for the pets.
Very, very, it's very horrible, especially for the veterinarian industry in Springfield, because they're losing money. They're closing left and right, I heard.
They're in decline.
And continuing on, what we've had now with all this immigration, the Minnesota stuff going on is, you want to talk about virtue signaling? Well, here we go. We got Akron City Council making decisions on the controversial immigration issue. It's so controversial, 83% of the country is for it. How controversial is it? City of Cleveland City Council has passed emergency resolution opposing Ohio ICE legislation, and East Cleveland. I kind of threw East Cleveland in there because we're going to talk about them later.
Yeah.
But let's start with, I guess, Akron. Let's see here. I guess Akron, I don't know. We'll start with them because they deserve everything they get for having this little princess in office. Let's start with Akron makes a decision, and there was clips on all these, but I figured Akron was the best, and we'll go through, what they're talking about. I don't want to be forced into cooperation, and oh my gosh, it's so controversial.
I think what we've seen from these ICE surges across the country is that the way that ICE has been deployed has been lawless, has caused a lot of chaos.
Lawless. The Ohio General Assembly is considering 3 new bills proposed by Republican lawmakers in the State House and one in the Senate that would enlist the assistance of Ohio cities for any potential ICE operations. One of the sponsors of the legislation, GOP Representative Josh Williams, issued a statement that reads in part, quote, Ohio should not tolerate policies that deliberately obstruct the removal of criminal illegal aliens from our communities.
This resolution tonight is standing in opposition to that state legislation and affirms Akron as a welcoming city.
On Monday night, Akron City Council had final discussion on a resolution voicing the city's opposition to any effort by the state that might force the city to participate in federal crackdowns.
We're very glad for our federal and state partnerships, but they're partnerships. They're not these forced things where we're kind of dragooned into doing something.
While voicing opposition to any potential ICE operations, the mayor says Akron police and other city departments would not interfere with the work of federal agents.
Pussy.
And after discussion on Monday night, Akron City Council approved the resolution.
For what?
Expressing the city's objection to the plan to enlist the aid of cities in immigration enforcement.
Oh.
We don't want to be enlisted in the work of ICE, forced to do the work of ICE.
I want to be forced into other things.
Yes, very much so. So they've all put in resolutions. Sorry, I was trying to say it with a straight face. Strongly opposing these. Strongly against. They are resolutions specifically cited in House Bill 2642 and 281, as well as Senate Bill 172 are now in the legislature. All of them, according to, I think this is, Cleveland City Councilman Conwell, says all of them are to penalize government agencies and people that do not work with ICE. They learned this in Minnesota, Conwell explains. In Minnesota, they are not working with ICE. Oh, they are now. But now they're looking at lessons learned, and the Republicans want to push it on Ohio residents to work with ICE and take away their funding and their resources and bully them, bully the people of Ohio to follow the law. Yeah, so. That's Yes, they do want to punish you. They want to take away. Yes, they do. Because these people are stealing from us and they're sucking the system dry. And yeah, so if you're getting state funded for your welfare program and you don't want to cooperate with ICE, maybe you don't get any state funding for a welfare program because we're not sure if it's secure. We got to protect the money of the people. East Cleveland did a similar thing, and they got some bulletins from the city. Says East Cleveland says, if you're a U.S. citizen, the city of East Cleveland says always carry your state ID or driver's license. And it's kind of it's kind of a normal thing.
It's kind of what we do.
But he does realize there's a lot of black people in East Cleveland, and they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to even get one.
Well, they don't know where the BMV is.
A copy of your birth certificate, a passport, or your naturalization papers. If you are legally here, but not yet a citizen, the city says always carry your work authorization card, a copy of your green card, proof of any pending immigration case, and any immigration attorney's contact information. Okay, so the green card and the work permit, something you should have on you anyway. And yes, if ICE thinks you're not legal and they ask you for ID and you say you don't have it or no, they're going to take you in until they find out who you are. Just like a cop will when they come up to you and say, hey, what are you doing over here? They pull you over and say, can I have your license? Well, if they have probable cause, they'll just pull you in. City leaders say this legislation comes as a result of recent immigration enforcement actions in Springfield, Ohio. I didn't know they were doing anything there, which are particularly impacting the Haitian community and have raised serious concerns around the state. Well, yeah, they are particularly impacting the Haitian community because they're the ones on the TPS. We're not talking about immigrants. That's kind of the biggest thing you hear from us. Oh, the immigrants, our immigrant population. Our immigrant population, the problem is the language. The left has made it about immigrants because they believe everybody's an immigrant. So when they come out and say immigrant, I do think people watch the news and all they see is how harsh we're being to these people. And that's where the suicidal empathy comes in. And I think these leaders these cities and these councilmen, they're playing right into us. I don't think they actually believe a lot of this, like you're saying. Do you think these cities will do anything?
No.
Does it matter?
No.
But it does matter to the voting zombies that they represent.
Yeah.
I think if state puts it in a law, I think they kind of have to follow it, don't they? The state law would supersede their local law. I mean, there's no law. They're just strongly worded resolutions.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is kind of like nothing. They're just kind of virtue signaling to their voters. That's all they're really doing.
Yeah, absolutely they are. There's nothing they could do. They are a sanctuary city.
Right.
They're a double sanctuary city.
I guess, but not really. I mean,
they're so brave.
They're just saying they're not going to help. They're not going to try to stop them.
Right, but the city or the state is putting legislation to try to force them to engage and to help ICE.
Yeah, but what does that really mean? I think what they're really hoping is that they'll lock them up.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think they're looking for the police department to go help them knock on doors. I think they're looking for the police to help them, help with arrests maybe, and help put them in a jail cell.
What they're asking for in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, was who's in your jail,
right?
Who do you have on warrants? Who do you have warrants for any crimes, really, not just violent crimes? The mayor of Cleveland will say violent crimes, I want somebody selling heroin or meth or whatever. They should probably get out of the country too, just because it's not a violent crime.
Yeah. That whole
robbery,
stat that they use for violent crime versus just
how many they've. Yep.
Right. They're being a little disingenuous with that number there.
Very.
I just lost my train of thought.
Choo-choo, it's gone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. But they are very brave, and I think so. Okay, that's where I was going. So they're asking for cooperation as far as a couple things, when I understand it. Let me look at your warrants you have outstanding. Let's investigate those a little further. Who's in your prisons and jails so we can take those guys out.
Right.
Or women. They're not discriminating against women. And when we go to act on one of these removal warrants or whatever they call them, immigration warrants, you need to help us as far as like watch our back, maybe, make sure you don't have to go into the house, but we need your cooperation so that the people of the city, let's think about this rationally. So maybe the people of the city don't think that jackbooted thugs and Gestapo are just coming in, federal troops are coming in. Having this local cops there kind of eases a little bit and keep, so what happened in Minnesota? Oh my gosh, they're pulling out. Trump lost. He gave up. He's pulling out. As far as I read it, the city and state of Minnesota state and the city of Minneapolis bent the knee. Is that the way you're reading it?
Oh, that's what I was trying to think of just a minute ago. I was going to say all it took was for them to start working with the ICE and to let them, to get the illegals that are in jail or with their warrants and all that. And it took them basically a week. All they needed was some cooperation, and there was no scuffles after that. Right.
And now all of a sudden,
now they're leaving, and people are like, "Oh, Trump's giving up so quick," or the left is celebrating, and it's like, no, they got what they wanted, and it just took a few days, really. Once they were cooperating.
Where's the headline? I saw it. It was Channel 3 had a headline. DHS leaves Minnesota after 2 shot. That's like a couple weeks ago when they were shot.
Right.
So I fixed it for him on X. It said DHS is. Did I say something like DHS is removing the surge after city cooperates?
Right.
After state cooperates?
Yeah, but they're gonna they're gonna twist it any way they can to make it sound like they're winning.
It's funny because you see these as we get further into the show, we start really getting in depth in what's going on in Ohio politics, and you see the same sources over again. We talk the main news sources, Columbus, Cleveland, Akron, Canton, sometimes Cincinnati. We go out that far, and when I'm on X, these local news organizations will post something, and almost nobody comments.
Oh yeah, nobody.
This one, they had like 50 comments, and they're all like, "You guys suck." So it was Channel 3, News Channel 3 in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I'm just here for the ratio. Just here. Like you normally don't get any comments, and all of a sudden. So how's this working out for you?
It is quite amazing to me that I'm on X, and I have like a list of local news that I follow, and they really get no activity on any of their posts, even views. If I can't see views, but you can tell how many likes or how many reposts or anything like that. And it's like they're lucky to get 1 or 2 likes and maybe a repost.
Yeah, here it is. Channel 3 WKYC. Breaking news. Breaking. DHS to end Minnesota operations after 2 U.S. citizens killed. And I helped them out. I said, DHS surge to end after state and local officials cooperate with ICE. Fixed it. So terrible. So terrible. It's virtue. They are so brave. I'm telling you, so brave. We'd like to cooperate in certain ways and not all the ways. So please tell us which ways we can cooperate, which are good for us, please. We'd like to be partners, but not too many partners. Okay? That you get what you deserve, Akron. You get what you deserve with that guy. Moving on. Next on our great list of stories. Oh, another great topic of ours. Data centers. Well, we've been kind of following this along in New Russia Township, which is Lorain County in the Lorain County out west of Cleveland. They've been pushing back on a mega site. It just feels like I have to play it when I say that. And kind of going around and around with city council, the zoning. And I think, I'm looking at this. Part of the problem is people don't know what the heck is going to go on these mega sites. And that's kind of where I kind of came into the story at. It's almost, a lot of it is there's a large unknown when you call it a mega site and you're just going to rezone it for an industrial use, and we don't know what's going to go there. How do I approve it as a citizen if I don't know what's going to go there?
The other thing that's happening too is that word has gotten around where they did build and people aren't happy about it. So I think the word is getting out.
Yeah.
So they're regardless of what it's going to be like, people are just going to start rejecting this. Like, can you put a mega site up? Like, if you cherish your rural life, can you put a mega site anywhere within a 5-mile radius of your home and still enjoy that rural life?
Right. And that's the word. Yeah, like you say, the word is out. That would be like we talked about, was that last week, the NDAs? Hence the NDAs. Yeah. Because they have to be secret because people will inflate the land value if they know it's Google or Apple or whoever else.
Yeah.
But secondly, it's we don't want to, if it is Meta or Google, we know it's going to be a data center.
Right.
So the question I have, well, let's listen to this clip first. Let's get the clip in here. It is New Russia Township.
For months now, we've been covering the prospect of new development near the Lorain County Airport. In July, Commissioner Dave Moore talked about a $67 million state grant helping build out utilities to accommodate new manufacturing on a more than 1,000-acre mega site.
We're building the foundation, and we're opening up our doors and rolling out the red carpet saying we're now ready.
And in early October, we heard about Team NEO's efforts to recruit an end user they say would create jobs and support long-term economic development.
High-tech manufacturing that's going to get us into the next 50 to 100 years.
In the meantime, a groundswell of signs and opposition. Steve Jackson was wrapping up his harvest the last time he talked with us. Now it's a slower season, but he says neighbors are more galvanized than ever.
When you enter the township, the sign says zoned for your protection. This is really simple. We're just asking for our protection.
What is high-tech manufacturing? That's my question. They keep saying things like high-tech manufacturing. Does that mean making drones? Or do they consider a data center manufacturing data or AI? Would that be high-tech manufacturing? I don't know. What is high-tech manufacturing?
It means nothing.
Yeah, it's a non-starter as far as it's so vague. I know there's a big plant going on in Ohio. They're building a large drone plant, Southern Ohio. So that's high-tech manufacturing because they're going to be making something. Again, not that it should matter all that much because a large industrial site, if it's a data center or manufacturer, it's not great if it's butting up against 10 of your acres.
No, that's not cool, but at least there's jobs.
Yeah, well, yeah, at least there would be 100 jobs instead of 8 or 10 or 12.
Yeah. So a data center is way scarier to me. Manufacturer kind of, that would suck. But what do you need a mega site for a manufacturer? Or, I mean, I know the obvious ones that you do need that, like automotive and stuff like that, but what's a mega site manufacturer? How big is it?
So they are...
how big is the drone place,
They are the cities are doing this, they're rezoning it so they can get some of this money from the state. And this is money, I think I looked it up real quick, it was $750 million from the 2024-2025 state budget. And this all ties in. It's they call it. I thought I had the name of the organization. I thought it was in the clip, but I must have cut it out. There's an organization that's running this Ohio First, Ohio Future First, or something to that effect. But they're tied in with Jobs Ohio. Hey, what do you know? And they've got $750 million to give out grants. So a lot of communities are rezoning areas. I don't know. Who owns this land? If you own this, does this county own the land? Is this? It is farmland. I'm kind of confused on how this is going to work, but they're rezoning large areas of it so they can get grant money, start developing, putting in sewers and electrical stuff to make it look very inviting to companies, right? They don't really have a plan other than the plan is to rezone it to see what happens.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Again, I see this a lot. I've gone to job sites where it's a food plant in the middle of nowhere.
This woman that's in the story in New Russia, she has 2 acres in the middle of the proposed development site. It's like, really, you're just gonna screw her over, man.
Yep, she bought the site in 2021.
Uh-huh.
And with the increased costs from COVID and everything, they've put it up. She said they put it off, and now they will be surrounded by. They have 2 acres. They're going to be surrounded by this mega site. And now, I part of me thinks because I think the person in that person was a Channel 5 employee, I believe. They mentioned that part of the clip.
Yeah, News 5 employee.
And part of me is might be maybe self-serving to say, anyone want to buy 2 acres? I got 2 acres for sale. Can somebody come buy it from me, please? Because she mentions that nobody's asked me to sell it. Like, I think she's talking about the company.
Right. Well, you would think that if they're going to propose a site there, that they would just her land. She hasn't built the house yet, so that's cool. But they would offer her a good amount for it to get her, at least get her money back. I mean, she bought it right at the peak.
I mean, if you're in the real estate, it'd be a great time to get a deal for whoever's buying this land, because she don't want it. So
yeah, but
it's not great. She's not in a great position to negotiate.
It sounds like this kind of is dead, right?
It is. That's the key. New Russia Township Zoning Commission voted to recommend denying the proposed rezoning of more than 600 acres of land, allowing for the development of a so-called mega site.
Yeah, I think it's
that's a recommendation. I think it's still up to the council or to the city officials if they're going to do it or not.
Yeah, I know some people out that way. They're gonna.
I think it's likely to fail, but this did not kill it. This is the commission's recommendation.
It's a recommendation.
Right. I would tend to think that they probably most of the time go with the recommendation of the zoning committee, but there's a lot of money at stake here.
For who?
For the politicians in Lorain County.
Oh yeah, but it's part of New Russia Township. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's Lorain County.
Yeah, it's part of Lorain. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah.
Well, it's good news.
I like that area. It is good news. I like that area too. If this wins out, that might be an area I tend to look a little bit more.
Yeah, not as much snow as the other way. If you go west of Cleveland or east of Cleveland,
it's a little boring because it's so flat out that way.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that the community's sticking together.
And she even points out, she's I actually want to live here because of the way the community has stepped up and pushed back, and they packed the city council meetings and this is kind of what you have to do. You got to look out for this stuff. If you're in a rural community, you should be on the lookout constantly for these kind of things. Whatever local resources you have, your local city site or village site or whatever, they have to post it, and they are most of the time getting these through with nobody in attendance at these meetings. Almost nobody in these meetings, or the normal people that complain that they don't listen to anyway.
I've friended a couple of people on Facebook that are in that area. They're farmers, and boy, they love their community there out that way. They get involved in all the community events and everything. So it's good to see.
Yeah, makes me want to move there actually, like she was saying. All right, and the next real quick, more good news in the data center. Depending on how where you're at and stuff. This is another one that City Council packed a meeting, and it looks like they at least put another data center on pause. This is a proposed 680-acre data center in Central Ohio denied by local authorities after concerned residents pushed back. And this is, what county is this again? Asheville Village.
Yeah,
it's 15-20 miles south of Columbus.
Yeah,
17 to be exact, as I'm looking at it. And the data centers they've already rezoned part of it. There's a company called, at least they know what the company is in this case. It's Edge Connects Data Center. Is what?
I was just looking at why people are rejecting it. It's like they're not sharing how much water and power the data center is going to be using.
Bingo.
So people are like, yeah, no, get the hell out of here.
So a data center is made up of 18 major structures It is to be constructed on 200 acres at State Route 752, 17 miles south of Columbus. After the November meeting, residents learned that the Edge Connects, a global data center business, has been given a 30-year property tax abatement. So how's that helping your community? But the amount of water and power the data center would be consuming was not shared with the public, among other details that were asked for. And I think they turned it down. They've paused it because it seems like the 200 acres has already been approved. As residents weren't buying it, they lined up at the podium and publicly spoke their minds about the opposition to the data center, worried that their small town would turn into industrial polluted one. At this time, the first phase of the project, the 200 acres, was already properly zoned, meaning the city council's ability to stop or change things is limited. The city leaders did vote to pause any new data center projects for 180 days. However, at last week's city council meeting on February 2nd. So they've already put this on pause for 180 days. So the people aren't happy. They've showed up at the city council meetings. They're not happy. And what does Edge Connect do? They went to the city council and asked for 490 acres more. And the city council said no. No, they definitely shot that down. They wanted to bring it up to over 680 acre data center campus. Which basically puts it in the size of what they're talking about in Lorain. So that was a 1,000 acre site in Lorain. This is almost 700 acres. And they said no. So right now they're kind of paused and they're kind of in a pickle, I think, a little bit. Because they did approve the rezoning already for 200 acres, and they're saying in the article kind of limited on what they can do at this point.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to pull out of this, but that 200 acres, somebody else can come in and do something. That's what it sounds like.
Can just rezone it back to something else.
Oh, you know what? That's true. I mean, but if they put money into it already, they might not want to.
If they've already got grant money from the state, they may not be able to. They have to give the grant money back or whatever.
Well, then give it back.
Money. State money, it doesn't matter.
That's true. They won't figure it out.
It'll be years.
Yeah. It sounds like this project won't go on at all. But somebody else can come in as the way it stands right now. If they only need 200 acres.
Yeah. Well, maybe they get lucky and get an actual factory or something in there. I mean, crazy that would be.
Yeah, I mean, some jobs, actual jobs.
Okay, well, good for them. I love seeing this. People showing up at city council meetings and making a difference. You can make a difference. I talk to people all the time. What are we going to do? Oh, we've got it so good now. What are we doing? It's kind of not bad here. Well, what can we really do? This is what you can do. Show up to your city council. All politics are local, and you can make a difference because when the same three people show up at city council meetings month after month, and then all of a sudden 500 people show up, makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a big difference. You know what else makes a big difference, Tom?
What's that, Rob?
Subscribing to the show. Subscribe. Share the show with your friends. I really appreciate you listening. We know your time is valuable, and we really, really take it seriously in what we do here and try to not waste your time with nonsense. I mean, occasionally we get some nonsense in there. It's always fun, but
more nonsense, the better.
More nonsense. That's right. Share the show with your friends. Leave us a comment. Give us a review. Check out the blog when the show drops on Monday mornings, crookedrivercast.com. Send us your feedback. Send us the stories we're missing. Send us, look at our stories on the blog on Mondays if we're missing something. Let us know. We need help. We need help. We're just two straight white guys. What else are we going to do? We can only do so much, I should say. So share the show. Check out the website, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. And on we go. This one's going to be a good one, I think. Could have been at the top of the list. And the story is, everybody hold on to their seats because the Cuyahoga County officials are feuding, apparently. The most powerful officials in Cuyahoga County government are openly feuding because it appears that Cuyahoga County has a overtime problem. It might be getting a little bit out of hand. Do you remember Safety Patrol? Downtown Safety Patrol. We talked about it quite a few times.
Oh, yeah.
I remember talking about that, and one of the problems that Cuyahoga County executives were complaining about was overtime. And I thought I remember the number being like $1.5 million of overtime for the sheriff's department.
Something like that.
It was
1.2, I forget. Yeah.
And then we brought up, I remember bringing up, well, I mean, the county's already like billions of dollars in debt. And then they're going on with safety. And we went on through all this other stuff. You know, they trained well and this and that. Seems like the Safety Patrol had just the ones that got spit out from not qualified for most city departments were on the sheriff's department now. And there was all kinds of problems going on with that. Well, now we got a bigger problem because County Executive Chris Renee is feuding with the sheriff of Cuyahoga County, which is Patel. First name, I didn't write it down. Sheriff Patel, about overtime because, well, let's just listen to the report. We may be able to figure out why Ronayne is so upset. Maybe we can point it out in the clip here. Here you go. Cuyahoga County overtime, part 1.
6 people with one thing in common. All made more than $120,000 in overtime with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department. Kyle Breeding, a deputy sheriff assigned to the electronic monitoring unit, Martin Greer, Davis Skipper, George Booth, and Rufus Lester, all corrections officers.
You tell us, how does that look?
If you think that's a lot, before retirement, Deputy Sheriff Joseph Perpar racked up nearly $200,000 in OT. His total pay in 2024, over $300,000, $125,000 more than County Executive Chris Ronayne's salary.
And we have a system of checks and balances that is actually a rubber stamp, literally and figuratively, a rubber stamp.
This is one overtime slip for Martin Greer.
Real stamp.
Stamped, "Thank you for your efforts this pay period," next to a smiling bearded guy in a backwards ball cap.
Not a good look, no.
With no signature of management authority approval, we got a problem.
Ronayne wants to take over the sheriff's purse strings.
I hired the sheriff. He's somebody that I believe I should manage.
But if he doesn't budge?
Yeah, then we have a problem.
And we got a problem.
Pretty good argument to have sheriffs elected.
Yeah, you don't say, huh? Let's continue. Let's see here. They have... So how bad is the problem? How bad is the problem? I think we get that in clip 2 here. Let's go.
News 5 investigators crunched overtime numbers for the entire county in 2025. The grand total, nearly $40 million. Of that, $27 million in overtime alone for the sheriff's department.
Just for the sheriff's department.
Some employees, including Greer, logged more overtime hours than regular hours.
The overtime historically has been a problem.
A constant struggle, Councilmember Mike Gallagher says, especially in the jail with call-offs and holidays. And he says overtime accelerates with deputies taking inmates to the hospital.
Ideally, you get that done in the jail. The problem with that is we don't have a full-time doctor in the evenings and on weekends.
Like you don't have the money.
He reviewed overtime records for budget hearings last fall.
Quite honestly, I wasn't overly concerned about what was on that sheet.
Why not?
I knew it was going to be high. Some of them were very high. But they're following the rules that were negotiated, the contracts that were negotiated.
Now, the relationship between Ronayne and the sheriff is strained.
Only up until recently has that gone awry.
So much so, prosecutor Mike O'Malley stepped into the fray. He sent Ronayne a cease and desist letter saying he's violating county charter and Ohio law for taking over the sheriff's payroll.
What I would say to the prosecutor, stay in your lane.
Ronayne responded, arguing excessive overtime strains the budget and raises concern about employee fatigue and operational oversight.
I think we have a county prosecutor who wants to go back to an old way system.
Yes.
Wants a separately elected sheriff.
Yes.
Wants 3 county commissioners in separate elected offices. But that's not what the voters of Cuyahoga County voted on.
Bullshit. Yes, and they made a mistake. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, that's bullshit.
They made a mistake. Yes.
Yep.
I don't think that stuff was so convoluted when we voted for it. I mean, I looked into it and I barely knew what I was voting for. Like we changing the complete county government and there's executive and this, and he gets appointed by here. And then the next election, we had another one to change it. And the following election, another one to change it. Yeah. By fixing it, they made it more complicated.
Mm-hmm. Fixing it.
$27 million of overtime just for the sheriff's department. The sheriff's budget.
I'm just laughing at the salaries some of these guys are. I mean, they're making a good salary, with just regular time.
Yeah.
Let alone some overtime. Jesus.
The total budget for the sheriff's department of Cuyahoga County is $205 million. That's what this guy Sheriff Patel, has control over. More than 10% of their budget is overtime. That's kind of a problem. They are expected they apparently anticipated this problem and budgeted in $18 to $19 million of overtime, and they blew right past that. And they're not even close to that now. Ooh, and I think they got budget shortfalls. So where do they cut this money? They're borrowing it. That means the county's even farther in debt. And let's finalize the last clip. And you may have brought up a good point because he brings it up at the end here, Tom.
Gallagher says the fix is having both sides come to the table.
No.
And if you're asking me what side I'm on the side of the prosecutor and the sheriff, because I think the sheriff should be independent.
The sheriff isn't talking to News 5. Neither is Prosecutor O'Malley.
No shit, really?
He appointed an outside law firm for Patel to sue Ronayne.
Who's paying for that?
Here we are today fighting a public battle over something that could have been solved, I think. And quite honestly, again, I'll harp on it again. Should elect a sheriff, we wouldn't be sitting here today.
On the taxpayer's dime.
On the taxpayer's dime.
Finally, someone says it.
You think the sheriff would be talking to the news channel if he was elected?
Yep.
Yeah.
I always wonder how to take that, because I could see not wanting to talk to the news media because they suck.
Well, you're gonna try to control the narrative.
Yeah. Okay. I'm wondering.
You're right. Sometimes it's better just to shut up.
Yeah, I go back and forth. I don't know. Sometimes you may be better just to wait and see how the story plays out, and then you can react to it. But you do look kind of
guilty
when you don't talk.
Right.
Even no comment or anything.
And the thing is, if he was elected, it wouldn't have gotten to this level. So
it's like the guy says, what's his name?
Ronayne?
No, the last comment, it was Gallagher.
Gallagher.
He said, yeah, we wouldn't have this problem if we had an elected official.
Yeah.
And I think somebody who's in control of $205 million, I think really should be an elected official. That's a lot of money to be controlling for the sheriff's department. And yeah, it's pretty bad that they're openly fighting, and now they're suing each other, and who's paying for all that?
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
They suck.
I read that. I was just blown away by the amount of dollars there.
So I think a lot of this is
overtime.
A lot of this is just lack of staffing, right? There's some of this that's just they just can't get enough people, maybe, or
I doubt it. Those are good salaries right there.
Yeah,
I think you could hire people.
But why would you want to if all your buddies are getting paid more in overtime than?
If I can work, I mean, I see it's totally different because it's in a manufacturing place, so overtime's different. But I see how people love overtime. So if you can get it, I think guys are going to take it. I don't know who were these like beat cops basically.
Yeah, street cop. I mean, yeah, they're
okay. So
they
are
weren't
they
detectives
parking,
or anything?
Are they parking their car somewhere and sleeping?
Well, I'm sure at times maybe, but I mean, I'm not saying that's what.
Take a double shift. You might be doing that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying when you're working that much overtime, that's not an easy thing to do. But a lot of these cops, they also, if they're not getting overtime, they're going to be looking for
they're doing
security somewhere.
Security traffic for church or event or down at the Brown Stadium or wherever for.
But they're going to take advantage of overtime whenever they can, and I a lot of people are like that.
So in 2023, News 5 investigated, revealing a staffing shortage in the sheriff's department led to deputies being paid nearly $4.5 million in overtime. So in 2 years, less than 2 years, in a year and a half to 2 years, it's tripled. It's it's quadrupled. It's quadrupled.
I don't know what
a year and a half
staffing shortage means. I mean, I know what it means, but
double shifts. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I guess, in my situation, some of the, there were guys that just didn't want to work overtime. So what they did was hire more people.
Right.
And because they would rather give guys, in certain situations, it's better to give overtime because you don't want to hire people because it might not be busy.
It might be permanent, and it's actually cheaper in some ways.
In the long run,
train that person and all that stuff.
And there's benefits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but this is a little different. This isn't just 10 hours a week of overtime. This sounds like they're doing 30, 40 hours of overtime a week.
And I think we found the major problem with that Renee has with it. Ronayne, is that it?
Ronayne or something like that.
It's because the cop's making more than he is by $100,000.
Well, that might have raised his eyebrow.
It might have. But he literally shows in the clip, if you watch the news report, Crookedrivercast.com, that he pulls up the paper and shows it when they're talking about the rubber stamp. It's a green stamp with, thank you for blah, blah, blah. Thank you for your cooperation or whatever your hours this week or something. And it's literally got a silly picture of a guy with his hat on sideways.
Did it,
with no signature.
Did it show how many hours somebody worked?
On that slip, I didn't notice it.
Okay.
It probably does.
I am curious to know how many hours people are getting. Because that's freaking crazy.
But what happened since 2023? That made it go from $4.5 million to $27 million. What happened? Did they lose a bunch of people? Oh, wait. The downtown, the county sheriff is now going, they've expanded their coverage. They're doing more stuff. They want to take the downtown safety patrol that was just for Cleveland, and they want to put it through that entire county. Maybe that's part of it. Something changed.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
Oh, it was the overtime was from 2022. So yeah, in 2 to 3 years, it's quadrupled. How the heck does that happen?
Did a couple guys, did a few guys retire?
That's what I mean. Well, I didn't hire anybody. Can they not hire anybody? Is there not enough cops?
I just don't believe that. I know there's a stigma around it, but you can, these guys are making good money. You can get some good cops.
Yeah. These are deputies. They were saying the top deputy made more than $255,000 after earning $150,000 in overtime. So he earned $255,000. He was making $105,000 a year.
That's good money. I mean, without the overtime, that's good money.
And he made $150,000 in overtime.
Right. I mean, just overtime pays good money.
Yeah, damn good money. I'm like, am I too old to be a sheriff's deputy?
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
If I would have known that, I might have
out of shape,
taken a different route here, man. That's like crazy good money there.
And then you have fatigue. How many hours on the job are they? Does this have a lot to do with, have anything to do with the way they're handling situations when they're tired and working, they're on hours 17 of their day. I mean, a lot of it's sitting, but it's stressful. That job is stressful.
Yeah, no, I know.
So there's a safety concern in that burnout. And
burnout's not a fucking, oops, I'll take that out. Burnout's not a problem. They're working overtime.
Yes, it's well worth their money. But yeah, eventually, I think I've seen it in my case. But if you're doubling your salary, I don't think it's as much of a problem.
Yeah.
But think about this. Keep this in mind. They are currently looking and building a new jail 25 to 20 minutes away from. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, did I find out? I think I might be wrong on that. I'm not sure. Here's what I think. There's a court downtown, and then there's a jail being built in Garfield Heights in Cuyahoga County. I'm pretty sure they're going to have to go from Cuyahoga County or from Garfield Heights to Cleveland and back again every time they have to go to a court appearance.
More overtime.
More overtime, baby. Better bump that up to $40 million of overtime.
Yeah,
now.
man.
It's only going to get worse. So what do? I think, okay, maybe I know this is crazy. But they did mention one of the problems is taking people to the doctor because they don't have a full-time doctor. I'm thinking for $1 million a year, you can hire a couple of full-time doctors.
You think?
And how much overtime could we save? But then again, Sheriff Patel, how much overtime did he get? Doesn't mention that. I guess he wasn't one of the top 6. Are you going to take care of your guys? And
maybe he doesn't get overtime if he's just
he might be
strictly salary or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Joseph Perpar racked up nearly $200,000 in overtime. His total pay in 2024, as they say, was over $300,000. $125,000 more than.
So how did this guy who makes $100,000 a year, let's say he makes $125,000 a year, to make over $300,000? He did $200,000 in overtime.
Yeah, so they're making about $100,000, $110,000, $105,000.
And he did $200,000 in overtime. I mean,
so at time and a half.
You got time and a half, but are they working Sundays, doing double? I mean, not time, Sundays, but I mean, past a certain amount of hours, are they getting double time? I don't know.
Yeah,
or holidays. You forget about how. I don't know how this works for the sheriff's department, but holiday pay and stuff. I don't know.
And that's one of the things they talk about. They're if you're already short staffed and someone takes a day, then you got to work extra hours. And we get that. But again, in 2022, it was 4.3 million. And now it's 27 million. Kind of
crazy.
27.3 to be exact. And we'll just keep an eye on that because it's going to be. It's a good segue into how we need an elected sheriff and not someone picked by the county executive. It just doesn't work. They need to be accountable to the people. And now that they're not talking and they're fighting each other, now it's even more important, in my opinion. But it would take that guy sitting in the chair, Renee, to change it, I think, right? I don't know. How do we change that? I'd have to look into that. But
it has to go back to the people to vote for it.
Yeah.
Where does it start?
Yeah. Does it start with petition? That kind of stuff. We'll see. We shall see. So apparently, this is the last thing I'll say about it, because apparently the Cuyahoga County Board of Executors was okay with, Officer Vajusi, I can't forget that name, driving down the street at 100 miles an hour or driving in a car at 100 miles an hour with his rifle out the window, ready to throw rounds downrange in the middle of the city. Because why? Because the guy had a warrant? Or the next one where he gets out of his car and within 3 steps out of his car, he's shooting at teenagers running through a field. I thought I saw a gun. Well, I get it. But I mean, this happens 3 or 4 times. Oh, then we'll talk about the chases that kill people. That was okay. But when you start making more money than the county executor, now we got to stop it.
Yeah.
All right. About enough of that. Cuyahoga County. Next is a little peek behind the curtain. See, how do budgets get so out of control? How does corruption happen, even on the local level? So here's the story. 2 brothers. I'm trying to find. There's a joke somewhere in there. Two Arabs and a mayoral assistant walk into a bar with $10 million. I don't know.
In East Cleveland.
In East Cleveland, yeah. A pair of brothers, ex-Cleveland mayoral aide, convicted of bribery in a $10 million bribery scheme. And I wasn't even going to get a clip on this, except I tried to pronounce their names. And I was like, well, I could just butcher them, but I want to know what they actually sound like. So I started doing a little digging. And what I actually found was a little bit interesting. This is the third story in 3 years on these guys. And the weird thing is they've all come out in February. February 24, February 25, and February 26. Not sure what that means, but it seems weird.
I need to try to say these names, can I?
You can try, yeah.
Zubair Mehmet Abdur Razak Al-Zubar and Muzammil Mohammed Al-Zubar and Michael Smedley.
Michael Smedley. And the white guy, Michael Smedley. Yeah, pretty damn close. But I like he has Zubari twice. Zubari and Abu Razara al-Zubari. Zubari. Let's hear what this is.
Tom Smith Tom.
I'm Tom Smith Tom. This is East Cleveland bribery, News Channel 3.
These Cleveland-born brothers, 41-year-old Zubair Mehmet Abdur Razak Al-Zubair and his 30-year-old brother Muzammil Muhammad Al-Zubair, facing a 22-count indictment for multiple alleged fraud and money laundering schemes. This 35-page indictment details each charge, including money laundering, wire fraud, and theft of government funds from June 2020 to August of 2023, claiming they tricked victims out of nearly $10 million. Zubair claimed to be a prince married to a princess in the United Arab Emirates, often using the title, quote, His Excellency in his correspondences. He lived in the UAE from 2008 to 2020. He falsely claimed he was extraordinarily wealthy, with connections to leaders in multiple foreign countries. His brother, Muzammil, claimed to be a hedge fund manager, but the court documents say he was not registered, and his only education was from watching YouTube videos. The two are owners of Dubai Bridge Investments. Their website says they're from East Cleveland, headquartered in both Dubai and North America, and call themselves international economic advisors to the city of East Cleveland and the mayor.
What?
I've never heard of that position, nor has anyone else that I've talked to at City Hall.
No kidding.
Justin Anderson is the former East Cleveland Deputy Clerk of Council. He says the brothers and their family are well known in East Cleveland. Their dad worked at the rec center for years.
You had two people who grew up poor in East Cleveland, like most of the people here, who were faking to be associated with the royal family. And that's what the shock was.
Prosecutors say in one scheme, they claimed to own Nela Park in East Cleveland, GE Lighting's headquarters, taking roughly $3 million from a cryptocurrency miner from China, looking to bring equipment to the site, even touring the campus with the victim, taking them to East Cleveland Mayor Brandon King's office to sign a contract.
Yeah, I have to remind the listeners that the East Cleveland mayor, in the middle, as this began, was already being investigated in 2024. I think it was 24. And I'm sure nothing to do with this, because they only signed papers in his freaking office at one point. They had actually got somebody to, millions of dollars. They said they owned Nela Park, the GE lighting place over in Cleveland. Like, How does this happen? How's a mayoral aide appoint these guys as international economic advisors to the city of East Cleveland? And people fall for it. They heard Cleveland, I guess. That's all they heard. So the mayoral aide puts these guys up as advisors to the city of Cleveland. But my question here is, as you heard in the clip, these two are well known that they've lived in East Cleveland for quite some time. Their dad worked at the rec center for years, as he says. Somebody knew.
Oh, yeah.
They knew. The mayor knew. And so they got a bunch of charges: conspiracy to commit fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, theft of government funds, on and on and on. Conspiracy to commit extortion under color of official right, meaning you're a government official. Wow, it's pretty good. So they, case details, they basically took about $3 million from a crypto miner in China. I think that was the one they talked about. Yeah, Nela Park. And nobody from GE confirmed we didn't have anything to do with it. We didn't know this was even happening. So he went to your campus and took somebody on a tour for $3 million. Oh, actually, it says GE Lighting confirmed to News 3 in 2024 that they had spoken to the brothers. So, excuse me, I'm wrong. They spoken to the brothers about the possible sale 2 years prior, but stated nothing ever came from the contact. Wow, these guys are pretty good, actually. So then they try to take advantage of COVID money and so on and so forth. So apparently they're saying he gave him this mayoral aide, Smitley, whatever. Gave him this position. In return, he got dinners and Cavs tickets. Yeah, I'm sure that's it. I'm sure it's Cavs tickets.
That was it, I'm sure.
Yeah, just Cav tickets. Mm-hmm. So they've been indicted. They're facing jail time. It's just City of Cleveland. This is their first. I think City of East Cleveland is their first time. Governing themselves. This is their first mayor. This guy was their first mayor, I thought, or something. No,
I don't think so.
Was that Cleveland Heights? Maybe
Cleveland Heights just got rid of their first mayor and got a new one. But
that's what it was. Okay, so Cleveland Heights had the first. It was one of those cities. It was their first time they had a mayor, and they had a scandal in the first one.
Yeah, that was with the wife and all that.
Yeah. Okay.
This one, the scandal in this one was somebody that mayor was. Oh, what was happening with him? But anyways, there was an interim mayor that didn't want to leave.
Right.
Remember that?
Yep.
And she's back in.
Yeah, they actually, because the city charter said if the mayor's under investigation, this happens. But if he's not fit to be mayor, then this happens. And they were both they had two mayors.
Yeah.
What could go wrong with two mayors?
Twice as much.
Yeah. So I thought that was fun. This is how it happens. That's all it takes all you have to do is get a little bit. All they got was we're international advisors to the city of East Cleveland.
I can't get away with that, though. I don't have the right skin color, and I don't wear those kind of clothes.
No, I can't. You can't claim to be an Arabian prince. Huh, Interesting. I think you could pull it off, Tom. You just need to do a lot of tanning. Lots of tanning.
Maybe.
I think that's about all I have for this one. Yeah, I think that's about what we got for this one. Next one, we'll get.
I wouldn't be able to pronounce my own name.
Yeah, well, you did a way better job than I would have done. You got pretty damn close.
I did all right, actually.
You did pretty close. I even heard the names, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not even going to try. Except just to make fun of them. And
a lot of letters.
I mean, this dude's name it's for
Muzammil Mohammed El-Zubar.
It's got 4 different names.
It's got a ring to it. Muzammil Mohammed El-Zubar.
So you're pretty good at it. I think you could pull it off, Tom. I think you're selling yourself short.
Okay, I'm going to go for it.
No pun intended. Next, we'll move on.
Why you?
I'm such a jerk. Go from two brothers to what to do with Burke Lakefront Airport. I had this sitting there in my list of stories for a little while, and then you posted the one when I'm like, oh, now we could talk about it. Well, as they're talking about what to do with Burke Lakefront Airport, this story comes out and basically says Burke Lakefront costs the city of Cleveland $1 million a year. Burke Lakefront loses $1 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
And you could actually turn that around. So last year, actually, they lost $1.7 million, but they averaged $900 million in red every year.
900,000.
900,000. Yeah, sorry. 900,000 in the red every year. I'd like to know why last year was somewhat almost double. It's almost double what it normally is. Big question on why. Maybe they see the writing on the wall. They're just trying to get out what they can from the.
They had a lot of overtime.
A lot of overtime to watch all the parked cars.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently that's like the biggest revenue source for Burke Lakefront Airport is 660 parking spaces used by downtown workers who are visitors of the Rock Hall and Brown Stadium. That's their biggest source of revenue. The only argument I can see that could possibly sway me, and it really doesn't, is the use of this airport for medical flights. Because you got Cleveland Clinic really close. What's the closest local airport is Cuyahoga County Airport, which is, I think, like Richmond Heights or over that area.
Something like that, yeah.
Not too much farther. I mean, you got 15, 20 minutes to get from Burke to Cleveland Clinic. It's probably 20 to 30 minutes to get from there to Cleveland Clinic. So that would be the only thing I could see that they bring up is medical flights, because it is kind of convenient. But it is 450 acres of prime lakefront real estate. The only problem I have is I don't trust the city of Cleveland to do anything with it. But what they're saying is you could bring in over $3 million in tax benefits to the city each year. You could have a $4 million turnaround. You go from a $1 million loss to a $3.5 million benefit every year. Now that's giving the city a lot of credit. So I'm not too.
Yeah, and this has been talked about for a long time.
Our whole lives, basically. Yeah. And they go through it. It's kind of an interesting story if you look at. We'll have a video from YouTube, which was one of the things I've been saving. Then you popped in the Scene magazine or Scene.com story, which of course is, they get paid by the words, so it's like 9,000 words long. But it does have some stuff in it about how Burke came about. Basically they show pictures in the video of it. It had one airstrip. They basically started by dumping dirt into the lake to add more land, and he just kept going.
Yeah, I thought it was a dump, right? I thought it was some type of fill.
Could have been. I know the Brown Stadium was. Maybe this is the same. It's all the same kind of part of land.
Okay.
I think they always say that's one of the reasons they never put a dome up, is that it was too heavy, it would sink, which would be great for the Brown Stadium. I mean, at least you have some excitement there, right? Watching it sink. Slowly
we've been doing that anyways.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're purposely sinking it into a large hole in Brook Park. And that's basically the story, I guess. What are they going to do with it? They're trying to decide with it. You're going to have to open up for public debate. Should we keep an airport there that loses $1 million a year for a bunch of millionaires to come in, so they have to take a shorter ride into Cleveland? I mean, it is Cleveland, so how many millionaires actually come here? Or should we demolish it and start all over again? I think, really, if you just level it and put it back to grass, you save $1 million a year. I say, winner, chicken dinner. And that brings us to, of course, the best part of the day. We bring good things to life. And literally, the best part of the year is now, because sunsets are getting longer. Every month right now, we're getting like 25 minutes back of our day, 34 minutes in February and January.
Nice.
And so by the end of Sunday, this Sunday, was it the 15th? The sun will set in Cleveland at 6 p.m. This is probably better. That's probably more fitting. Which will mark, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it's starting to feel better.
The latest sunset will be it is already. You could tell, like, because I'm eating dinner and it's still, I'm like, I don't have to eat dinner yet. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
It'll be the longest sunset since November 1st. Shocker. This happens every year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And by the end of this month, sunset will occur at 6:15. So days are coming back, and then I think March 8th is daylight saving time, where we jump ahead.
Boo!
Like good communists do.
Boo!
And that's the story. So check it out. It's good news. Good news. Getting our days back. Summertime. Summertime is coming.
Good news.
Just keep it going. Half hour a month, we're good.
Yeah, I like the longer days.
Definitely.
I don't like them when they go to 9:30, I guess.
Screw up my whole for the next 3 weeks. We're working on that. Probably going to be last thing Trump does is just sign an executive order saying we're going to use Greenwich time or something. I don't know. Next on our list here is the Port of Cleveland. I did see the story coming up, and I was kind of looking at it, waiting for it to finalize. But the Port of Cleveland is they've finished up their stabilization of the Irishtown Bend, which, first of all, racist. I'm very offended because I'm part Irish.
They didn't call it Leprechaun Bend.
They didn't call it Drunk Ass Irishman Bend. That would have been better. More, at least it's descriptive.
Ginger Bend.
Ginger Bend. Ginger Bend. They've been working on this $65 million project to secure Cuyahoga River's hillside, and formally hands the site to Cleveland Metro Parks to begin work on the 25-acre public park. So this is a part of the Cuyahoga River, which is located along the Cuyahoga River between West 25th Street and Superior Detroit Bridge and Columbia Road, named for the Irish immigrants who had settled in this area starting more than 175 years ago. And it's quite astonishing the amount of money and effort we spend to keep nature at bay. Because this is just this is the normal thing rivers do. They change, they never stay the same. But unfortunately, we've got lots of infrastructure, and it's not really. They're not doing it just to put a park in. If they would have allowed this to collapse, it would have blocked the river. You wouldn't have got any commerce to the river. So it would really hurt the local economy and stuff like that. So it was a grant, apparently, from somewhere, and they're finishing it up. And now you're gonna have a park there.
Yeah, and Metro Parks do a really good job.
Oh, they usually do a really good job. So I don't know if this is going to be a part, but I know they're putting more and more. We talked about it on a show or something, but they're putting more and more areas to access the river from these parks. So maybe this will be one of them. I don't know, where you can actually put your canoe or whatever, or your kayak in the water.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. It could be. Yeah,
but maybe not, because you might get run over by a gravel tanker.
That 200 foot.
Yeah, that'd be fun to. I seen one. My dad worked at Shooters at security for a while. I went down there one time with him for something. He had to get something, and he was. I was eating lunch there, and so Shooters is like right at the end of almost right at the mouth of the Cuyahoga River in Lake Erie, right before that drawbridge that goes up and down. And there's a little connector there that comes out, and they swing the boat around. They go right out to the lake. Somebody had moored their boat directly in the way of and they were beeping the horn. They were coming off. So he wasn't even working, but he got off, and they unmoored the boat, pulled it down the dock, because it would have it came within a foot of the dock, the boat, 2 or 3 feet of the dock. It would have creamed it. This thing was massive. It's not even a big one, but it was just like, I remember, and I was a kid too, so it probably felt even bigger. But I'm like, I thought, this bar looks like it's in the way of these boats, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not sure I want to be in the water when one of those goes by.
No.
Make your day very interesting. Very interesting. But it'll be cool. Check it out when they get done with it. Probably the next couple of years they'll be done with it. Get some walking paths. 25-acre plot is pretty nice.
Yeah. And that's about almost 10 blocks, I think. I mean, I think a block is like an acre. Or no, like a couple of acres. I forget exactly. Yeah. I remember I was looking at a plot of land. It was 30 acres, and I was like, trying to figure out, and it's basically 30 acres is like 10 blocks.
Okay.
So this is close.
It's sizable,
yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
It's the $65 million hillside stabilization effort is the first step in the broader $100 million initiative to transform the Irishtown Bend into a 25-acre public park and community amenities, along with New Franklin Boulevard and West 25th to Columbus Road, that is due to reopen any day now. So it's kind of cool, stabilizing the hillside and making things better. Tax dollars at work. And on that note, I think that's all we have for today. Yep, checking off. Check. And I really thank everybody for listening. We do this every week. It's a lot of work, and we enjoy it. And when we get feedback from our listeners, it makes it even more enjoyable. It makes it very rewarding. So we thank you. Send us your feedback, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Check out the blog on Mondays when the show drops, crookedrivercast.com. And thank you for listening.
Peace.